Bonjour et bon après-midi à toutes et à tous.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are here for the 47th meeting of the Standing Committee on Public Accounts.
Today, but I'd like to first make a statement before we go further. Thank you all for being here from the department, from the Office of the Auditor General. I have to say we are extremely disappointed that the Deputy Minister couldn't attend. This has been an issue for us. We know that sometimes there are, yes, difficulties in getting schedules to work together, mais comme vous le savez probablement, cela fait partie du...
But as you probably know, it's part of the law that the Deputy Minister is present. So I have to let you know how disappointed we are to not have the Deputy Minister here. Mr. Christofferson would like to speak.
Very much appreciate you raising the issue right off the top. This is a serious matter, and some kind of a bureaucratic power play that there has to be a protocol followed, that we just don't do business unless we have high enough figures here. To speak to your issue, the law says that the Deputy Minister is the accounting officer, and I was here before that was in place, and some of you have heard me go on and on about it. I can do that again if you wish. I don't think it's necessary. We know the importance and we know the difference between having that law in place and not, but it only works when the accounting officer is actually here. And as much as the last thing we want to do is to waste any time or be any less efficient than possible, Madam Chair, we cannot do our job the way that Parliament expects us to do it if we don't have deputy ministers here in their lawful capacity to be responsible for the department and speak for the department when we ask questions about the Auditor General's report. So, Madam Chair, I am going to move that this meeting be adjourned, that we reschedule, that the meeting happen before Easter, and that the Deputy Minister be present. I'm quite prepared to debate it if necessary, but I think the reason's understood. I think you in your capacity as the Chair did the right thing in raising this right off the top, but I, as one member here and the longest serving member, feel that we need to bring this to a halt. It's starting to get a little bit loose. These things happen, but it's our responsibility to rein it back in and make sure that when there's a commitment made that the Deputy Minister is going to be here, that the Deputy Minister actually shows up. So I move that we we adjourn this, reschedule the meeting to a date when the Deputy Minister can and will be here, and that the meeting happen before we rise for the Easter break.
Thank you, Mr. Christofferson. Mr. McColeman, to the motion?
To the motion. If you require a seconder, I'll be happy to second the motion. Just to underscore what Mr. Christofferson said, our experience so far is no reflection on who is here today, and I want to thank the witnesses all for being here and making yourselves available. But this really is coming down to a point of principle for this committee to do its work effectively, as Mr. Christofferson so accurately says is expected of us. So I won't belabor it any further. I'm in full agreement with the motion, and I hope all committee members are.
Madam Shanahan, to the motion.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I have to say, particularly in light, having done our preparation for today, we did have many questions that we wanted to ask, and they need to be asked to the Deputy Minister. And that is, I understand that is in the legislation, and so it's entirely within our rights to do so. So I also agree with the motion as it stands.
Any other comments to the motion? Mr. Arya? Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I completely agree with what Mr. Davis Christofferson said, and my other colleague said. I also concur with this.
I'm presuming it's unanimous that we do not need a vote. So I'm with apologies, and I really am sorry that we have to do this, but it's been as Mr. Christofferson said, something that we want to stop from happening in the committee, and we'd like to ask our clerk to negotiate with your department a possible future date before Easter. for the Deputy Minister to come. Again, it doesn't take anything from the fact that we know you have the knowledge and you could provide the answers. It's a question of accountability, and that's why we have come to this. Madam Borges, yes.
Can I just offer one explanation? I am a Deputy Minister. I am the Associate Deputy Minister for Transport Canada. My colleague and I, Mr. Keenan, who is the Deputy Minister, operate as two in a box. So I have as much responsibility for the department as he does. We manage the department together. I take responsibility for certain files. This one is under my level of responsibility. I don't disagree with you that the FAA specifies there is only one accounting officer, and it is he. But if he is not present in the building, if he is not available, then I carry out those responsibilities for him. So I would offer that as a consideration. I am a Deputy Minister.
At the risk of getting into the weeds of the process around here, sorry? Yeah, well, yeah, that's my colleagues. That's where I was going to go, is that they should both be here. But given the fact that, I mean, fine, we can get into it if you want. This meeting's been postponed twice now, and the purpose was to have the deputy. I don't know whether it was for yourself or for the other. I'm assuming it's the other. I've never run into this before where there's kind of two deputies. There's either associate deputy minister. I have to say that's new to me, and I've been a minister provincially. But anyway, it still speaks to the amount of trouble we've had to get, I think, was your colleague here. And so the question then becomes, we went through all that hoop jumping in order to get someone here that now you're telling us maybe they didn't need to be here. So it still speaks to a lot of confusion about who is going to be here, who should be here, and who's legally accountable.
I understand that, and we share your frustration because the first time that we were asked to appear at this committee, the notice from the clerk of the committee asked for an official. We go to, many parliamentary committees when there is a request and they say officials are invited to appear before the committee, then we send an assistant deputy minister, a director general usually, or a deputy minister. Deputy ministers do not go to all the committees, and so there was clearly some level of confusion between the request from the clerk and then the request from the committee itself. And so we apologize for that confusion. I have made myself available for the last several weeks. I was ready to come. Unfortunately, my colleague was not because he was with the minister. And so I'm here today ready and willing to answer your questions. I'd be happy to do so. If you choose to defer until before Easter, then we'll try to find a schedule that will work for him.
I appreciate that, and I hear what's being said. But I'm still not clear on how this works, and so I would still prefer. I mean, how can we not be clear on who the deputy minister is? I mean, usually there's one minister, one deputy minister, and then a series of ADMs. Now we've got an associate deputy minister. Personally, I'd still like a little bit of clarification as to exactly what that role is, and is it a 100% the same? Is there a legal technicality in terms of who is the actual accounting officer? Because my understanding is there can only be one at a time, but maybe we've got a hybrid here. I'm listening to what's being said, Chair, and I'm trying to, process it all the same as everyone else. I'll go this far. I would still feel better if we adjourned this meeting, and even if you, Chair, with the assistance of us Vice Chairs, if you wish it, to sit down with them to clarify what is an Associate Deputy Minister. Does that meet our satisfaction as being the accounting officer, and then schedule forward? And it may be that we need both or one or either, but I don't know. And I think I need to know in terms of who's legally accountable, which is the whole point of the motion. So my motion stands, Chair, and if we need to get clarification on qu'est-ce que c'est Associate Deputy Minister, let's do that too.
If I rely on both what the clerk and the analysts have told us for the past two meetings, it is according to the financial, the FAA, the Act, it is the Deputy Minister. And which is why for us it became such an important issue, because we are trying to avoid it's not that you don't have the capacity, but in terms of titles, this is the way it works as far as we know, and it is the Deputy Minister who is the accounting officer. So if there are no further comments to the question, and I thank you for submitting it, and you say that the motion stands, are we ready to adopt it and to vote on it? All those in favor? All those against? None. So we adjourn the meeting. Before we adjourn completely, we do have another motion. We'd like to bring forth the motion that Ms. Shanahan had
Can we do that? Yeah.
introduced at our last meeting. Yes.
It's up to you whether you
Yeah.
want it raised now or not.
Yes,
You don't
well,
have to.
Yeah, so...
But I would thank our guests and apologize again for this, but this really is important to us.
Oui. Non, on reste en public.
Yeah.
Oui.
On reste en public. Maybe je vais suspendre quelques minutes. Là. Le temps de... Non? Pas nécessaire? Non, c'est correct.
On est en public, donc il faut y aller quand même.
Ms. Shanahan, would you like to read the motion again? No, we're in public. Yeah. Would you like to read the motion again?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So my motion reads as follows, that the committee, at the next opportunity, undertake an assessment of the government's responses to the committee's recommendations.
Thank you, Ms. Shanahan. Any...
Just, if I might just quickly, I want to thank Ms. Shanahan for raising this. In my experience, more and more it's becoming clear to me that it's that follow-up work which is really where the important part of what we do. Again, you know, the one and done, people come in, they have a hearing, they say the right things, they make promises, they leave. If we have no means to hold them to account, and they know that we have no means to hold them account, they know that time is their friend, and as time goes on, it'll all just get forgotten. And I know this for a fact because that's the way it was when I first got here, before we actually got serious about going after the follow-up. And if I might say, internationally, this puts us on the cutting edge. We were recently in London, yourself, Madam Chair, and Mr. McColman, and we learned that one of the first things we talked about when we talked about our action plans, which is how we actually do these sorts of things, that's the basis of the info, they were like, what's that? What's that about? So they were interested in doing it. So a lot of this follow-up is sort of the new era of doing this job correctly, and we're on the cutting edge of that, and Ms. Shanahan is putting herself and her thoughts right at the front edge of our work too. So I just can't underscore enough the importance. It's boring, it doesn't get a lot of attention, but if we don't have the means to follow up on the commitments that are made, this whole process just falls apart, and we are only a fraction as effective as we need to be as the Premier Oversight Committee of Parliament.
So I'm gathering you support the motion.
Support it a bit, yeah. I can be persuaded.
Mr. McColman?
I'm in support.
Perfect. So we have agreement. All those for? All those against? Unanimously. Thank you very much. And now we do adjourn the meeting, and we are done. Thank you.